Alrighty, welcome everyone to now an actual interview with Mr. Morales himself, Michael here, and thank you so much for making sure that you are available to us to let us pick your brain, really. But let's see, how are you feeling today, Mr. Morales?
Feeling really good. First of all, I want to apologize for the technical difficulties, and hopefully some
All
of you
good.
guys got to see my Celtics jersey a little bit. As you guys know, super busy day, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And these kids have been playing all day today, so big shout out to all the people that were competing today. It was like 6, 7 hours of Counter Strike, so it's really all
Mm.
about them today.
Yeah, speaking of that team, how are they feeling? Have you gotten the opportunity to talk things over with them and really experience the hype that they are experiencing right now?
A little bit here and there. A lot of screaming, a lot of cheering, a lot of strategizing. So they're feeling really good right now. I haven't really been able to, recap anything with them so far, but they're pretty happy.
Perfect. So I gotta ask you a question. As a coach, what's your role in the scene here? How much do you get to talk to your players? Is it more so a administrative organizer role, or are you a lot more hands on? Because I know you also do play a few video games yourself.
Yeah, it really depends on the games that are going on. So at Eastside, I'm managing like 6 or 7 games per season. Most of them, I'm just facilitating, setting up the schedule, making sure everything's good to go, and these kids can manage themselves. I'm mostly there to check emotions. Overwatch is the one that I play a lot, and the team for Overwatch at Eastside, that's the one that I'm like, do this, do that, watch for this, watch for that. Just that's something that I can give them some strategy over. Counter Strike, these guys are super sweaty players. They're really good, and they don't need me to tell them what to do. I'm just there to make sure that they're able to play and compete and show what they have.
And is there anybody on the team who is sort of like a sixth member, a coach who likes to watch over and possibly help with strategies, or is it really just the five guys that we saw on the server today?
Um, for the most part, Braden, who's RPCR, he's the one that really tries to guide the team, give them strategy. But it's really Polar, Yaya. These guys, they all have their own things to say and comment on to be ready for the next round. So um, yeah, definitely those three would probably be the ones that I hear talking a lot and talking about how to synergize and stuff like that.
Cool. And I got another question for you. So, because you are the facilitator, the one who helps these teams get set up, were these players friends beforehand? Were they already in the same friend group? Because I know a lot of the time you make friends once you get onto a team. So, did these guys know each other before, or did they all come in with the idea of bringing a lot of pride to East Side High School?
I think all of these guys, except for Sajin, are seniors, and they've known each other for a long time. So these guys they kind of came to me really. They're like, "Hey, Counter Strike, we play it. Can we get a team going?" I was like, "Sure, let me see what I could do." And then HSEL, they offered it, so that was kind of like where we jumped on. So yeah, these guys, they kind of have that chemistry already. This was their last year too, so I'm really happy that they were able to end it off with a big win. And
Yeah.
Sajin, sadly, he's like gonna have to try and round up a couple other guys if we want to have Counter Strike next year. But yeah, these guys, they knew each other, so it was not very hard to get like good chemistry going.
Yeah.
And with that chemistry, obviously, comes a lot of practice. Do you know how often these guys do practice? Do you know any kind of schedule that they have, or do they just kind of play on their own time and then you just make sure they're there for game time?
Yeah, that's the kind of philosophy I take at Eastside is I kind of try and get as many people to play as they can. And because of that, I don't really have time to do practices and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I tell them the important thing is be there for game day. If you guys really care and want to get better and improve as a team, take the time out on your own time and work together to do that. So these guys for Counter Strike, they do play a little bit on their own time as a team. Like these five guys, like the main starters, not so much.
Yeah, and honestly, they did bring it. They made sure to show up on game day, considering they just took the
Yeah,
entire thing. So,
yeah, that
yeah,
was stressful.
honestly, Real powerful there. I know that I'm looking at the chat, the reaction that they wanted a question of where did you find Yaya, but I already got the answer to that. The guy absolutely went well today. But I got to ask you a more question leaning towards that background that you have as a teacher and coach. It's Sunday, it's a school night. I know teachers, we used to, at least I used to, work about 13 hours a day showing up. So, when do you find the time to facilitate a lot of this stuff to really make sure that your students have these kind of opportunities here?
Well, to start, we set up a Discord community for the esports program, so that's kind of the main way we communicate. And these kids are actually in my class most of the time, so we get to like talk about like what we're gonna do with esports like in class sometimes. So it's not too hard to get a hold of them as long as they have Discord. But yeah, I kind of forgot your question. Sorry about that. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's the main
no,
way.
it's all good. Yeah, it was pretty much just how do you find time of day to balance the play and work life that you have as a
Oh
teacher
yeah,
and a coach?
I'd like to add to that actually. I also want to give a shout out to the Antelope Valley High School District.
Mm.
They have been very progressive with esports, and they've been promoting or helping us promote esports in the schools by giving us stipends, building gaming rooms, which is something that not a lot of districts do. So it
Yeah,
really
no.
helps that right, the foundation's there, and it helps us tap into the talent in the Antelope Valley.
Yeah, my college doesn't even have that much for esports. We're pushing them to possibly get maybe like gaming rooms and stuff like that. And we're a decently big, fast growing school. So to see you guys having so many resources like that in high school is absolutely amazing. And it's clearly showing as well. The investments being put in or showing on the server is you guys won the entire HSEL Nationals. Any notes from you from watching the game itself? Like anything you want to mention about like how your team actually played and the actual action that happened today that we watched?
Their mental was really good. Like I was listening to them pretty much most of their games that they played today, and I think the mental thing was just on lock. They weren't stressed out. They weren't letting it get to them. They were just even if they were down, like they just played really well, and I think that was probably one of the biggest reasons they were able to pull it off because even in this last one that went to like 20, 40 something rounds, they didn't sound like they were going crazy or anything. They were just like keeping themselves calm, and they're like, oh, they're the ones that are stressed out. Like they're the ones that are feeling the pressure. So yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
and that's a great way to think about it. So it's always good to have a coach and a teacher that knows how to play screw the heads on straight. That's the future generation here, and doing a great job. So definitely appreciate that. As definitely feels like Teacher Appreciation Week recently with all these. Is there anyone in your administration or staff that you also work with, or are you the esports guy at Eastside High School?
Yeah, I'm pretty much they give me free reign. I guess I'm
Ooh.
really like hyping the district up right now, I guess. But yeah, I kind of approached them about a video game club when I started working at Eastside, and then the previous principal Charles Dunn, he was like, "Hey, there's this esports thing going on. I heard something about Play VS, HSEL. I know you want to do a club. Do you want to be like the first coach at Eastside?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, why not? I'll do it." And that's kind of like how it took off. And yeah, they don't really check up on me. I give them updates on how everything's going, and yeah, there's lots of freedom, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? Well, I guess it depends on the school. Some schools are like very meticulous about what games they play just because of the optics and stuff.
Hmm.
But I've been very lucky, and I've done everything I can to, give a good representation of Eastside High School, at least for esports.
And clearly it's been paying off. You guys have been having a lot of results just generally across the board, but we saw it here in Counter-Strike. Congratulations again on winning. Is there any final notes you want to have? Any people you want to shout out that aren't just people within the district who've been helping you put this on there? Anybody you want to shout out about after that wonderful result, or any final notes you want to say to the stream, the people in the chat?
Yeah, ultimately, this is all the players. They deserved it. Braden Booth, congratulations. You deserved it. All that hard work you put in for this. Yeah, yeah, you too. Andy, aka Polar, Anthony, Sajan, Oscar, and I'm forgetting the other guy. My bad. Was that 5 or 6? I got 6 on the roster.
You got 5. You got 5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's the full team.
That sounds right.
Congratulations, guys. Yeah, it was all them. That's their talent, their skill, so they deserve it.
Yeah, and I gotta ask the elephant in the room. That was a big prize pool for your team to take home, and from a previous teacher perspective, does some of that money go to the department, or is that payday for these kids? Like, what exactly do you know how that's going to be divvied up? Because I mean, it seems like this is one of the biggest tournaments that I've actually seen ever be put on for high school.
I don't really know how the payout works, but I could tell you that if it can go to the players, it's only going to the players. So they can hopefully feel confident that I'm not going to disappear. So, yeah, it's all going to go to the players. They deserve it.
Definitely not going to let it be a $7,500 payday for Mr. Morales if Mr. Morales has anything to say about it. But thank you so much for the wonderful interview. It's been a pleasure. Congratulations again to your East Side Lions on their wonderful victory, and we hope you have a pretty nice evening. Well, it's pretty close to the end of the evening. Have a nice school day tomorrow with all these guys as well. Hopefully they don't get too tired and they get enough sleep to the point where they can make it through class tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being on.
It has been a wonderful pleasure.